I'm back, leading the autumn programmes on BBC Three with the most expensive series ever to come out of this bureaucratic dump. Roland.
So where are we going?
Further than we've ever gone before.
Report. Structural latching system integrity breached.
Prepare to take us out of here, number one.
Fire up the engines, half impulse till we clear the nebula, then punch it up to warp 9.
Ready phases, load forward torpedo bays. Engage.
Homo sapiens. What an inventive, invincible species. It's only a few million years since they crawled up out of the mud and learned to walk. Puny, defenseless bipeds. They've survived flood, famine, and plague. They've survived cosmic wars and holocausts. Now, here they are, out among the stars, waiting to begin a new life, ready to outsit eternity. They're indomitable.
Yes, indeed, Lyndon. We are indomitable. Because how do we know we are indomitable? Because we're still bloody here, and everything gets weirder. Everything gets weirder every day. Oh man, I forced myself to finish the first story in the last Tom Baker set out from Big Finish, and it was false. I had to literally. It was. Oh. They look. Honestly, I hope a younger company gets the license because. They've just lost it. I hate to say, I just think Big Finish have lost the spot. I mean, listen, I'm sport because I was on from the beginning when they were young and when they were passionate, right, and when they're excited by it. Now it's just like it's turgid, right? It really is. So this it was a 2-part story called The Wizard of Time, and the problem with it is. An ongoing problem with Big Finish is that it wasn't about the Doctor, right? He didn't really appear in it much. It's a full Doctor. You want to hear Tom Baker's voice. It was quite an interesting little story, right? It was clearly a pastiche on J.K. Rowling, a male version on J.K. Rowling, and they managed to get through it without spewing hatred. But it was like, okay, so it was a 2-part story. I kind of liked having it being 2-part stories, but then when I finished it, I saw there was 3 more stories left, and one of them was a 4-parter. I was like, oh, God, really? I got another 8 episodes. What was I right? Let me look that up. 1 second. Let's go to Big Finish. Because it's just like, I would rather listen to Tim Pool, right? I stopped listening to Tim Pool to listen to this one. I can't believe it. Oh, my gosh. Look at this. It was the story they put out. They put out a free story to entice you to buy it. And it was the first, like, are they out their bloody mind? The Wizard of Time. It was turgidly boring, right? It was turgidly boring. Again, nothing really to do with the Doctor. So let me got this right. So we got Wizard of Time. Yeah, I got through that. Friendly Invasion. Just started. It's not really grabbing me at all, right? And then we got I think a Weeping Angel. So it's 4 parts. And then another 2. I got another 4. See. I should go, oh my God, I got 8 more episodes to listen to. I'm so happy. I'm not. It's wading through bloody mud, right? I should be happy about it, but I'm really genuinely not. It's like, oh, right. I mean, it's just bloody painful, right? Yeah, so I'm really, I guess, I mean, I would love to see a younger company get the license because they've just lost it, right? They lost that early spark, and you know, I hope they here's a problem: they didn't see their own greatness, right? And I think that was a problem when they wrapped up the main range. It was like an old man slowly massaging an erection back to sleep, right? Like a soft erection back to sleep. That was how they finished off the main range, right? It should have been a triumph. It should have been a tour de force, right? It should have been like a celebration of what was a truly great era of Doctor Who. And it was a truly great era of Doctor Who, right? That's what it should have been. instead, it was just like woman writer after woman writer after woman writer who isn't very good, right? And that's really the bottom line. Woman writer after woman writer after woman writer who isn't very good. And it's funny, from all that big influx of female writers they did, not many of them are still there, right? And the ones that people are there, it's just, it lacks it lacks strength, it lacks backbone. So I'm very disappointed, right? It's very disappointing, and I don't know. I don't. I mean, look. I mean, I'm not buying anything coming up. Right? Let's have a look here. Let's see what we have a quick peruse. See what's coming up with them. Right. Just share screen again. So yeah. So this was Solitary. I got this one. I haven't started on it yet. I did start on it, but again, didn't really grab me. I'm sorry. I would rather listen to Tim Pool. That's who your was it? That's who your competition is, right? That's who you're the Ark. Nobody bloody wanted that, and nobody bought it, and nobody cares. What's the Future? I'm enjoying because it's just like frothy nostalgia regeneration, anniversary fun. This is like last one I'm about buying. So out, right? I am so out of this raid. It's Neris Hughes as Margaret Atwood, the sculptor. Just I don't care. I don't care. I've been out of the Seventh Doctor range for a while. I don't like Cross and Sullivan. You know, the Christopher Naylor playing Harry Sullivan. It's okay. What's named as Cross isn't very good. I'm sorry. She's again. They wanted a black woman, right? That's all they wanted. And there's only so many black women. And again, I like how they try and make her look like a companion, like a normal companion. Because when you actually see pictures of her, she towers over everyone. I mean, she looks better in those pictures than the other ones. But she would not be cast as a companion on TV, right? She's physically not right for the role, and or at least they should have written a role that would be right for her. Like, you could have somebody like an adjudicator from the future, like Forrester or Quay, something like that. Yeah, somebody who's supposed to be like very large and dominating, right? Elena Crooks. And again, I like in the cover art they make her look like a regular companion. So I'm out of that range. Yeah, Torchwood, I've been out for years. Leave me alone. Unit Nemesis. Are you really doing a spin-off with Gemma Redgrave? Because boy, I'll be fine to get to sleep. That'll be no problem. And I never really liked Osgood either. Prisoners London. The audiobooks are too long for me. I got the Kate Ulmer one. Never even came close to finishing it. I am enjoying the second Doctor. Beyond the War Games. I think that I'm finding very, very interesting. Who's writing this one? Mark Wright, normally good. Paul F. Verhoeven, never heard of him, and Bob Ayres. Oh God, who else is working on it? Is there anybody reliable? Script editor Nick Bryan. No, my guess is it's going to be crap, right? Time Slip, never interested. Sixth Doctor, Purity Unbound. Yeah, they're finishing up the Hebe arc. That made me want to heave. So they're finishing up that, and I've been out of that for a while. Ninth. Oh God, this annoys me. We're going to talk about this. Travel in Hope. Oh, so is that a female ice warrior, the Ice Lord, the Ice Lady? Or is that just based on the female? I don't know. But, like, Traveling, I mean, it's such a generic title. Tells me nothing. Reels me in nowhere. Travel in Hope. Not interested. Dr. Cross paths with many travelers. Some of them start their journey. Some at the start of the journey, some well on their way. From a remote nose of a transmit network to solving crime. Who's the producer of this? All right, it is script editor David Richardson and Matt Finnan. Why are you making such relentless, boring shit? Right, and that's really what it's relentless, boring, unengaging shit. Which again, what a waste of Christopher Eccleston. From the remote nodes of the Transmat network to solving crimes at a space service station, or helping friends climb a political ladder. Oh God. Don't say the word politics, okay? God help us. Sometimes the journey is more interesting and more dangerous than the destination. So Below There by Laura Mooney and Stuart Pringle. Really? It took 2 people to write this? Vix works on a teleport relay station in the darkest depths of space, and she's afraid. Strange voices crackle through comms. Oh, God, it sounds like another cheap piece of shit. Shapes gather outside, staring starless viewing points, and visions of death and destruction plague her dreams. And she gets a call from the doctor, who warns Vix her worst nightmares about become a reality. Yeah, the Butler did it. Good title. Actually, that is a good title. James Moran, he wrote for the series. He's normally quite good. The Doctor lands at a spaceship repair port on a dusty planet to tune up the TARDIS engines, but something has postponed an old friend of his, and now everyone on the station is suspect. It's time to round up the clues and get a magnifying glass or sonic screwdriver and check the Butler's alibi. That one sounds okay, but again, all this is just very disposable, right? And that's really the vibe I get from the Ninth Doctor. They're all just coasters. They're all just ashtrays. Leave these alone. Run by Robert Valentine. When a heinous demagogue, Bellatrix Verga, threatens the stability of the Galactic Federation, the Doctor convinces the newly elected President Alpha Centauri to run against her for president. Fuck off with your politics. I don't care at that point. I don't trust you with anything to do with politics, right? Because let's be fair, it's not like you are that politically astute or on the money that much now was it, right? It's not like you're doing, you're really knocking it out the park, are you? No, everything you thought was wrong. A newly elected representative. When Vega's team mount a campaign of dirty tricks, do you reckon Vega's going to be like a Trumpian? I don't know. And the Doctor and Alpha must thwart numerous murderous conspiracies or see the Galactic's greatest democracy become a brutal dictatorship. I mean, listen, if you wanted to skewer Biden, yeah. I mean, because, America is such a dictatorship. I mean, it's very much on the way there. I mean, okay. This week, they released this bombshell. They leaked this bombshell recording of Trump being frivolous with these documents, right? And it was ridiculous, right? Yeah, basically, this 2-minute clip said, "Oh yeah, General Milley wanted to start a war, and I said no," right? And so here, let's look at this. 1 second, right? Where does it start? I think let's look at that one. Oh, man, this general should be go up against a firing squad, right? So, breaking. This was today from Jack Puzzlebeck. DOJ claims that Trump on tape is showing classified docs on July 21st, 2021. The docs have never been found, right? But 6 days before, on July 15th, the New Yorker had an article where Milley accused Trump of wanting to strike Iran. Is it possible he was just holding the article? That does sound... Yeah, because he said, Milley said I wanted to start war. No, nonsense. Here, this proves it. I mean, he could have been holding a file saying, on the outside said, General Milley's war plan. Or so, I don't know. It could be 100. And he said, I can't declassify because not the president. But the president couldn't do it. He may have to declassify. It's just distraction. And the only people dumb enough to in any way buy it are Democrats. They are the dumbest of the dumb. They will buy any shit. I mean, look, will Democrats buy any shit? I know. You tell me, right? Will Democrats buy any shit? It looks like it to me, right? I mean, literally, I'm like, okay, this is normal. This is okay. The police should be arresting him for public indecency, not about to shove his cock in his doggy mouth. Oh, God. I mean, this is serious, deep perversion. I don't know what to tell you. I thought it was funny as they were going over Mr. Trilby. Then he kept saying, all these things are deep fake. Oh, they're Photoshopped. Really? Oh, really? That's Photoshopped? I mean, look at this kid's face. I mean, yeah, that kid's got the right bloody attitude. There is a lot of weird sickness in the world. Anyway. So then we have, this is from July 15th. So it was Jake Tapper pushing the story. So he's saying this was General Milley accusing Trump of wanting to start a war. He could have literally have picked up the article and said, but it means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Why? This is just to pacify Democrats, right? So they can remain as dumb as they are. They're just dumb. So, right, I thought they were just duped, right? But boy, you've got to be so dumb to be duped in this way. They had been duped beyond dupe beyond dupe. It is freaky. At the same time, right, there's this mounting evidence of everything we already knew. Everything. How fucking obvious is it? Well, I knew in 2020, probably before. No, I think in 2019, by the Ukraine impeachment. And the thing that really makes me crazy. In their reporting, their go-to thing is Trump appointed attorney. Trump appointed a U.S. attorney. Trump appointed Christopher Wray, who actively hid exculpatory evidence that through the Ukraine impeachment. The Ukraine impeachment was Biden was on camera bragging that he had a prosecutor fired who was looking into a company who had just hired his son, and weirdly given them a lot. Oh, we didn't know about that. So he said, well, what's up with that? You should look into that. And they said, we got to impeach you. That's improper. You know what the exculpatory evidence was? Recordings of Joe Biden accepting the bribes. Right? How much? And the media are like, no. Which brings me to something that we do need to talk about, right? We do need to talk about, I think, quite urgently. Now, this is something I did not know about. At all. My Jewish sister, my Jewish brethren, Roseanne, is being double cancelled. I only found out this from Crowder today, right? Because she was on Crowder. So Roseanne, very, very proud Jew, very, very Jewy Jew, right? And so she was already cancelled, right? She was always removed from all platforms and had a TV show taken for her, all that stuff, right? She was cancelled beyond cancelled, but she was cancelled for liberals. So now they want to cancel her from people who would like Jews. Now, I know I'm going to have to deal with this with my neighbors. Did you hear what Roseanne said? So let's hear what the allegations are. So there's also Ed Krasenstein, living in reality, independent journalist, Web3 and AI futurist. Okay, fine. To all people defending Roseanne Barr's comment saying, no one died in the Holocaust. It should happen. 6 million Jews should die right now because they all cause the problems in the world, right? I don't care if it's a joke. I don't care if it's sarcasm. I don't care if Roseanne is Jewish. I don't care if Roseanne were to be God. You don't believe in God, you atheist piece of shit, right? Joking about Jewish people dying in the Holocaust and sarcastically saying that Jewish people should die is not okay. It's never okay. Never will be, period, right? If you think it is, then you should reevaluate your sense of humor and respect for humanity. Right? So this is done to counsel her in Israel, counsel her with people who, and it sounds pretty bad, right? So let's look at the clip where she said, maybe we'll look at it out of context first, and then we'll see the whole context. 1 second, where is it? And listen, I got to have my sister's back here, right? Absolutely. Doink. So again, I just got this from Crowder's feed.
A little bit bad.
1 second. Let's just hear her say that.
Cost either.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah. So let's hear that.
in the Holocaust either.
Yeah.
Back a little bit more. Hang on.
And
It's scary.
and that is the truth. And nobody died in the Holocaust either.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
It should happen. 6 million Jews should die right now because they cause all the problems in the world, but it never happened. But it never happened.
Yeah.
Mandated.
So that sounds pretty bad. Okay, that sounds pretty bad. But it sounds much worse for the piece of shit media when you hit the whole thing in context. Go back another 20 seconds. That's it. Just 20 seconds.
Can't say, you know,
That it wasn't.
you can't say that, like, you know,
The
there was
election was
oh,
that it wasn't.
Here's the clip.
you can't say, you know,
That it wasn't.
you can't say that, like, you know,
The
there
election was
was
rigged or-
yeah,
right.
that's all a lie. The election was not rigged. 36 counties can give you 81 million votes.
Right.
That's a fact.
So it wasn't rigged.
Of course not.
Yeah.
36 counties have 81 million people in them. See? That's the truth. And
Yeah.
don't you dare say anything against it, or you'll be off YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and all the other ones, because we
Just a bit of context. You can question election integrity now because they know Trump's going to win next year.
have, you know, there's such a thing as the truth and facts, and we have to stick to it. And, you know,
It's scary.
and that is the truth. And nobody died in the Holocaust either. That's the truth.
Yeah.
It should happen. 6 million Jews should die right now because they cause all the problems in the world, but it never happened. But it never happened.
Yeah.
Mandated.
So, yeah, it's a little bit different in context, isn't it? It's unbelievable how dirty these dirty pieces of shit, right? I mean, like, and again, you know, I have a neighbor who is a traditional Republican. He believes that Trump raped that woman that he was just found liable for with zero evidence whatsoever. Because, like, look, he's the sort of person who reads the New York Times from cover to cover, right? And you have a lifetime, right? A lifetime of believing these sources, and they're full of shit. I mean, like, they are more full of shit than they're full of shit. But I'm telling you, the tide is turning, ladies and gentlemen. Tide is turning. You know, the energy is going in a different way. That's why I think Trump is going to win. Although, frankly, I'll take RFK as well. Anybody who'll dismantle the security services, the administrative state, yes, I will totally take RFK, right? Although I like Trump, right? I like Trump. And they're doing anything they can to get, put him in jail, to stop him running. But I think it's them versus God. And I think the only reason they succeed in 2020, because God let them. I think anything happens is because God allows it or wants it to happen, right? And I think he let them succeed in 2020 to repeatedly humiliate them with their intense failures, which is exactly what's happened, right? And to open people's eyes at how insanely, evilly corrupt they are. I mean, again, look at all the weird sex shit, right? They're all perverts. I mean, it is all just relentless perversion, and it's I that's why they have to hide it. That's why they have to dupe their own voters, right? That's why they're not doing these things to convince you. They didn't leak the tape. The DOJ didn't leak the tape to CNN to convince CNN. It's to convince people like me. They leaked it to dupe the Democrats, right? To make them stay nice and passive, right? So here's something interesting, though. Another interest now in England of the tide turning. This thing, I'm not sure we're going to watch the whole thing. Nigel Farage, right? Nigel Farage really dropped some massive truth.
Still a very, very new channel. We've been going for 2 years, and I'd never done television before, although I'd sat, of course, on the other side of the desk, often with people that I attended today's Trick Awards lunch with, the Television Radio Industry Club, and often on the other side of the table, I've been treated by them rather like a war criminal at times. So
well, you do go against the establishment narrative, so that's why.
I've only been 2 years into this job, and I'd never been to one of these big annual lunches that take place at the magnificent Grosvenor in London, and it was extraordinary. 1,700 people there, and people on the stage saying, "Aren't we wonderful? Aren't we so great? Isn't this all lovely?" Backslapping, congratulations, a lovey-do on a...
He's so right. Again, he's so right about all of this shit. And again, I have this relative who works in Washington in like a lobbyist thing, and he said straight face, we could agree that Trump was bad for America. Yeah, America hated the best economy of all time, that low gas prices, low inflation, and world peace. Americans hated that. He's bad for Washington. Because he makes them all look like they're full of shit. You know why he makes them all look like full of shit? Because they're all full of shit. And he's the one person not in on the shittery.
Scale you simply can't believe. And it was all going really rather swimmingly, well, at least according to those that have organised it all. But the Trick Awards made one big mistake this year. Rather than the casting vote on who wins various categories being decided by the industry themselves in their own committee, they put it out to a public vote. And they hadn't really reckoned, I think, on what GB News might do.
Yeah, again, they all believe their own bullshit. Right? They all desperately believe their own bullshit. It's crazy how much they believe their own bullshit. But they all desperately believe their own bullshit.
Shock number one, and boy, it was a shock, was when GB News Breakfast won. And that is just the most incredible achievement. I mean, Good Morning Britain, which is a very heavily funded programme that's been going for years, and yet, the public voted for GB News Breakfast, and that is an absolutely...
I remember I don't know anything about GB News. I've seen them do a bunch of stupid stuff, but I think that's all been shoved in my face. And they seem to be doing quite well. Anyway, let's hurry up.
Massive credit to the midweek and the weekend teams. And then it came to News Presenter of the Year, and it was a very august cast. Of course, we had, Susanna Reid and the great, if you believe it, because he often says it, Piers Morgan, myself, and Stephen Dixon, and Eamon Holmes as well. So 3 of the 5 that made the shortlist were from GB News. You would have thought the industry was beginning to get a bit of a hint. Well, I won. And I won not really because of me, but because of you. And we asked you again and again if you wanted to back me to go onto the Trick website to vote. 5 times we crashed the website. There were some saying that it was...
Again, this is why they want you to have no voice, right? Because you don't say what they want you to say. You don't think what they want you to think, right? This is why they want you to have no voice, right? This is entirely why. So they can force any nonsense down your throat.
Clearly going to be a rigged election, but in the end, it proved that it wasn't. And they were astonished by the number of people that engaged and voted in this process. So look, I am delighted.
Hey, come on, Nudge.
I'm going to be as magnanimous in little dig at those that live in central London. But then I couldn't resist having a go at something called Bub. I know you've never, ever heard of it, but...
See, I never even considered this before, right? I've always assumed the iPlayer numbers were bullshit, right? I've always been like, no, people don't watch that much Jodie Whittaker. Are you out your mind?
All the figures for television viewing, whether it's news or entertainment or whatever it may be, all of it comes out through an organisation called Barb. Barb are 5,300 boxes that are in people's homes around the country. And guess who owns the organisation that publish the viewing figures? All of the other broadcasters.
Yeah, that I didn't know that. I did not know that.
They are allowed, effectively, to choose the panel and to mark their own homework. And how can you judge in a country of 66 million people? Well, at least that's what we know of. How can we judge that audience by just 5,300?
I mean, it is ridiculous, right? I mean, like the technology we have now, they know. I mean, there's no real need for elections. You can they know your social media, scan your social media feeds. That how you think about bloody everything.
Boxes. The whole thing is a complete and utter farce. And bear in mind, this industry is worth 12 to 15 billion pounds every single year. There are massive advertising revenues that come off the back of those Barb figures. But that's the way it's been forever, and nobody has ever got up and challenged it. Now, I know...
Again, this is why I like him, right? I mean, like, everybody's, oh, he's evil, he's a racist, he's the worst ever. I've never heard him say anything I didn't agree with. I mean, genuinely.
Myself, from my years leading UKIP, when the opinion polls consistently underestimated where we were, that the establishment doesn't like newcomers. So I basically told them...
It's not newcomers. It doesn't like outsiders.
...their fortune. It felt at times like I was back in the European Parliament. Here's a short clip of what I had to say to a very complacent, self-congratulatory television industry.
Yeah.
This industry is...
This is great, and they did not like this at all. Oh, they don't like it up them.
It's worth between about 12 and 15 billion pounds every year. And it matters culturally, it matters in so many ways in our country. And yet, the way we measure who is watching and who is listening to programmes is completely out of touch and out of date.
No! No!
This is, I had much louder than this in the European Parliament, sir. I'm disappointed. The idea that Barb, from which all the advertising is set, is owned by the existing broadcasters means the industry is marking its own homework. The idea that 5,000...
What? You're saying, you're asking something about our integrity? We're the most honest people ever! Oh!
300 boxes across the country. Oh, I can hear the noise. There's a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of money.
It's not the money. I mean, it is the money, but it's the egg on the face.
Money at stake. Any idea of competition, and you should shout, and you should be frightened, because you will lose your jobs, because I can tell you this, Barb is wrong, and we need reform of this system.
Get him off!
We need, oh, look.
Look at this.
There we are. We need, the heavies have come. Well, there you are. They just wanted to shut me down for stating a self-obvious truth that the way we measure TV audiences is bent, it's broke, it's out of date, it doesn't work. And I know something. From all my years in public life, GB News out there not only has attracted an audience that love the output from this channel, the balance they get from this channel, but it's a lot bigger than the industry dares to admit. I
believe that. I totally believe that.
Really did touch upon that nerve today. They hated it. They screamed. They shouted. Gosh, I enjoyed it. Cheers, everybody.
Good for you, Nigel, man. I'm telling you. It's amazing how little it takes to be brave, right? And here's the thing, and that's the ongoing theme of tonight's stream. I mean, we're going to talk about the Seventh Doctor as well, but it's going to be it's like how reality is hitting people's fantasies. So let's look at something over here. You know, they thought it would never end, and because they believe their own bullshit, right? They were as dumb as Democrats. Most of them were Democrats, right? Late night comedy writers face oblivion if WGA writer loses strike. Guild Negotiations Committee member Greg Iwiski says, "How about this, Greg Iwiski? Don't lecture us and write shite for 10 years. Or at least 7 years. I'm sorry, mate. I'm sorry. It's over. It's over for you. It's over for late night. Like, nobody watches that. Watch it anyway. Why? And watch Steve Colbert lie his ass off to me. I don't need that. Nobody needs that. I mean, again, new media is where it's at, mate. I would rather watch Noel's stream, right? I would rather, if I'm going to sleep, I'd rather. Spacebook is great, right? You know, I would rather. There's Robert Meyer Burnett had a fantastic video about Star Trek, about how it got to where it is. Yeah, you're done. And you know what? You didn't have to be. Like the news networks. You didn't have to be done. You could have just been honest. You could have just had a mea culpa and say, oh, you know, we got it wrong about Trump. We got it wrong about Brexit. No, because it wasn't about it was just about, it wasn't about being right. It's about not wanting to be wrong, right? Not wanting to be wrong. Fine, let's have a quick look at what we, by the way, speaking of just a quick aside, one of the greatest things ever was sent to me today. You know, my favorite restaurant is some dumb cunt. You know, it's a very busy place. It's full of these people. This is wonderful. Is this Photoshop? Rim him. Fill it, mate. All I can imagine is a shell-shocked Gordon the Gopher, you know, in a padded cell, crying to himself, eating his feces out of a toilet. So here's what we got coming up. This was from last night. I like this thumbnail a lot. Another day, another embarrassing failure for The Flash. So when do we start shooting the next one? I can't wait to him find out that it's over. Like, his career's over. Forget it. How does he come back from this? I know. I think his career's over. Speaking of careers being over before it started. Oh, I love this. Was the U.S. neo-Nazi Patriot Front unmasked to be left-wing extremists and federal agents? I'll cut to the trace. Yes, they were. Basically, if anyone is covering their face, they're extreme leftists. That's basically how we can tell. The headline story from last night: bonkers activist insists Doctor Who has always been queered. What nonsense! Tom's never sucked a dick. Listen, mate. If you say so, I believe you. Right? We had the location reporting from yesterday as well. Again, I'm so turned on. I'm so non-interested by the new era now. And I said this last night. I'm going to reiterate it. I made a short about it. I'm going to reiterate it again now. The trouble with Shooty having a different costume every episode is he just makes him like a normal, boring person, right? Everybody, do you wear the same iconic outfit every day? No, you don't, right? Because you're a normal, boring person. You're not the Doctor, right? I don't think it's about selling more action figures. And if it is, fuck you, right? Yeah, fuck you so deeply, right? I like the first one, the orange one. I thought it looked cool. And now it's just this is boring as hell, right? He's just a bloke. Right, he's just a bloke. Oh, I gotta go be on my bike. Russell wants a blowjob. Okay, off you go then. Mr. Trilby. This will be coming out in a day or so. Toxic Doctor Who fandom's bigotry falls out of fashion, and they get epically roasted. They did, and now tonight's episode, tonight's episode of a Quid Martin reduction. Seventh Heaven. Doctor Who Magazine's 60th anniversary poll reaches McCoy years, and then Star Trek. So, but adding in Mr. Spock was an afterthought. I thought, I remember there being a good spitting image of Mr. Spock. So you have to wonder, if they wanted to make a successful Star Trek, why they didn't just make it like Star Trek. Logically, they'll be asking the very same thing about Doctor Who this time next year. Probably. I just hate the personification of Spock in Strange New Worlds, right? It's Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. He's not cool, right? He's not cool. He's autistic. And I understand a lot of these dickhead writers are autistic and they don't know what cool is. Oh. This is what should be on the application to be a writer in any respect whatsoever, right? Question 1. Are you afraid to try and get laid, right? Are you afraid to try and get laid? If the answer is yes, you're not a writer, right? No, you've got to have a bit of balls, right? And these writers don't. So, yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of Star Trek tonight. Let's get to the chat. Lonnie is here. How you doing, Lonnie? I'm telling you, mate, the end of days is here. Yeah, you don't have long to go now. Make sure you got some barbecues, some brisket smoked, because you're going to want to celebrate when the Messianic age begins. John Smith is here. How you doing? How's my Europe? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'm every day getting a bit better. Actually, I had some real food today. Oh God, that was fantastic. I made myself in multi-cooker. It was I air fried an onion, bell pepper, chili, jalapeno pepper, garlic clove minced, and some ginger. Then I put it in a moldy cooker with a can of no sugar, no salt, crushed tomatoes, 2 cans of that, and 1 can of no sugar, no salt corn. Put it onto stew for 40 minutes, and then had it on some baked potato. It was freaking awesome. Oh my God, so good. I could handle another jalapeno pepper. Next time I'll do another jalapeno. That's the first time I actually had food with taste for quite some time. Something cooked and put together. So I'm doing pretty good. Paul Tosland is here. How you doing, Paul Tosland? Thank you for joining us. Mr. Jekyll and Hyde is here. How you doing, sir? Thank you for joining us. Where are we up to? Gareth Morgan is here. Hell is repetition. Modern Doctor Who is all repetition. So Star Trek. Star Trek is basically an adaptation of Star Trek, right? IPSO facto, ipso facto, Doctor Who is hell now. I got to see it first, right? But I was listening to Tim Paul earlier, says Gazmon. Yeah, look, Tim Paul is my go-to guy, right? And I liked his take on why he thinks the age of woke is ending, right? Is really going to end. It's because if you do videos about culture war, about like the LGBTQ plus insanity we have going on. That's now monetized to get clicks, right? That does it. That the algorithms like that now, right? So that's just the way things are going to flow. It's incredible, and I think he's right. I do think he's right. Ooh. Sorry, I just realized that one side of my teeth cracked and my dental appointment isn't until August. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you can get an emergency appointment. Cam's Crash Course is here. How you doing, Cam's Crash Course? Thank you for joining us. Animals find it disappointing that he went backwards. That he was not in the Dalek Emperor show. Who's Animals? I mean, Davros? I don't know. I'm confused. Never really been into Italian. I've never really been into horror. I don't mind it. I like some. But I've never really been a massive horror aficionado. Earth and Skara, says Gareth Morgan, both former Gallifreyan prisons. That's why Gallifreyan Shabugans and humans are identical. Yeah, it could be they were all just made by the BBC in the 70s. I mean, there is that. Where are we up to? No, you're wrong, Gareth Morgan. The tide is turning. The tide is absolutely turning. Bud Light is down another 26%. It's a brand killer. The tide is 100% turning. We weren't allowed to speak out about any of this shit a year ago. Now it's being promoted, right? What comes out every year to see it, Shadow? One second. Don't know if Kim Petras still has a peanut. I have no idea. I don't know who they are. Dr. Alex is here. Hope that you look at it. It is going well. Thank you. I've lost about 20 pounds, so I'm doing pretty good. In Butlin's Bognor Regis, where we was going to get season 22. What happened to season 20 on Blu-ray? Man, it's not been good. It's not been good. Yurik. How you doing? Judge Reinder, he said, I have no idea what that means, but okay, it sounds somewhat sexual. But to me, most things do, right? Most things do. TARDIS time is here. They live freedom of speech when it suits their agenda. Exactly. They're little fascists, right? They are absolute little fascists. And dumb, right? They are dummies. That's really the bottom line. They're just dumb. Even I am forced to say anything good about JW Doctor Who. I can always say it gave me a new appreciation of Seven Doctors. Seven Doctors awesome. Okay, I have to tell you. Out of the 12 televised stories, we have at least 7 that were excellent, all-time classics, right? I have to tell you, you know who Jodie Whittaker gave me a better appreciation for? Peter Capaldi, right? I was a bit down on Peter Capaldi, and I went back and watched the Clara stuff first. And actually, I was down on Clara, so I went back and watched Clara, and I couldn't believe how much more I liked it. And then I went into Capaldi, and I was impressed how much I liked it again. So thank you, Jodie. The one good thing they did. That's the funny thing. New Who DVDs are plentiful and they are dirt cheap. Classic Who DVDs are harder and harder to find because they're more. Everybody likes them more, right? Everybody likes them more. That's the bottom line. All right, let's look at a bit of classic Doctor. We'll start over there. Actually, one second before we do that. Like again, like you weren't allowed to say boo about this 4 months ago, right? And I've noticed the energy shifting since Christmas. And it's been growing and growing in intensity. And I that's what I think is going on. So Eddie is now, Susie as he is, addresses to a party in a pink miniskirt and a figure-hugging top for a dinner with friends after a West End show. Yeah, look, it's okay that you dress like that, Eddie, okay? It's okay that you want to dress like that. That's fine. That we're being told this is normal is not helping you, right? It's not helping you. I don't think it's stunning. I don't think it's brave. I don't think it's good for you, right? I don't think this is good for mental health for anyone, right? Man. So, but you weren't able to say that 6 months ago, right? Totally not. Have a look. I still love the absence of Suze Kempner on the cover. Like the desperate absence of the toxic and useless Suze Kempner. Man. I mean, she really was just useless. I mean, just absolutely useless. Blame my mother. No, I blame you. It's just useless. Where are we up to? Oh, Seventh Doctor. Let's have a look at the Seventh Doctor poll. See how we're doing this year. He was a riddle wrapped in an enigma in a question mark sweater. Well, listen. It was a riddle wrapped in an enigma, from Revelation, Remembrance of the Daleks onwards. Before then, he was like a bit shit. Okay, let's be 10 quid for a crappy comic. It's unbelievable. And I want you to know, I've had so many comments of people on my review that are talking about that, saying, that's it, screw you. I have been ripped off by you. I'm no more. I'm not going back, right? I don't know what they're going to do for next issue to bring people back. I mean, listen, look, mate, with all the love in the world, that's shit, okay? That is just shit. I'm sorry. And I do love it dearly. So Remembrance of the Daleks #1. I think that's fair. And it's been staying #1. Curse of Fenric, also very fair. Survival. I prefer Ghostlight to Survival. I like the way Survival and Ghostlight flip-flop between each other. Greatest Show under them. I would put Greatest Show above Survival, right? I like Greatest Show a lot. I am waiting for season 25 to come out. Battlefield is much better watching the special edition, right? Happiness Pro is great. I adore that. Dragonfire was out, one piece of non-shitness in season 23, right? It's like, but look, I think everything's basically staying exactly static, right? Nothing really moves. Silver Nemesis hovers around the same. Paradise Towers. Okay, Paradise Towers. Had they shot that on location with somebody else playing the chief architect, and maybe have somebody playing Pex who was muscle bound, would have been much better. Time in the Rani at the bottom. That's understandable. They didn't know what they were doing with those early episodes. Andrew Cartmel was learning on the job. And look, for me, the season 25, walking into Remembrance of the Daleks, is similar to, what season was it? Season 9, Peter Capaldi coming out on the tank, right? I think that was... I wasn't that enamored with his first season. And I think the season, the season 9 when he kind of rebooted himself, right? He was much more being the Doctor at that point. Guy remembers died of AIDS. Yes, he did. Yeah, quite a lot of people did. Eddie that is always dressed as a woman, but now he claims he's trans. He's not. He's just a transvestite. Hey, look, listen. They want to claim everything in the LBGQ alliance, right? They just do because they're bonkers. What do you want to tell you? They're bonkers and in control. Oh, and that John Nathan Turner pulled off a full-size Dalek shuttle was brilliant. I mean, that was absolutely brilliant. Just props for him for that. I mean, I think that made a huge difference. Oh, that cliffhanger. Get some CGI on it. You can fix that easily. So Doctor Who's 60th anniversary poll continues this issue as we focus on the final 3 years of Doctor Who's 20th, the classic we call it, before it came back in the 21st year. Earlier this year, we asked you to give a mark out of 10 to all 300 stories. Then we saw Jodie Whittaker got 0 for everything, right? Literally was the bottom of everything. In fact, we slipped in dying horribly from AIDS, right? And it still did better than Orphan 55, right? So then we said, oh, we've got to change the way of doing it. Let's just get the top 3 from each Doctor. That'll make it fair. You dumb cunts. I mean, really? Anyway, to establish your favorite stories from the entire history, the top three for each Doctor will then go forward into a final stage, so we can crown the overall winner at the end of the year. Again, whatever. We previously. What do you think Jodie's is going to be? It's going to be Power of the Doctor is going to be #1. Rosa will be number 2. Who gives a shit? Essentially, it'll be Power of the Doctor. Will be number 1 though. What am I up to? We previously used the same scoring system for our series-wise. No, you didn't. For our series-wise surveys in 98, 2009, and 2014. The relative admissions came from these polls can also be seen in the charts on these pages. So we compare those results to our latest survey, and everything stays the same. As we reach a relatively short era of the Seventh Doctor, it's no surprise that we find his most highly regarded story, Remembrance of the Dark. Honestly, I like pretty much everything that I like Sylvester McCoy's run a lot, right? I like it a lot. And I like the way they evolved Doctor Who with it, right? And it became contemporary. It became cool again, right? Which it hadn't been. I mean, it really hadn't been since Colin Baker, right? It really became cool. And I think it's important that Doctor Who was cool. Same with Spock, right? What's wrong with Spock in Strange New Worlds? He's not cool. He's Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, right? He's not cool at all. He's autistic. Oh, God. Again, you can only have cool people write about, and you can only have people understand morality write about, morality plays. Fine. So Remembrance of Daleks says, as well as winning surveys in a landslide shortly after its transmission in 98, it's a 4-part serial. Has consistently been voted the top of Sylvester McCoy ever since. Listen, that was the first time we saw a Dalek come upstairs. We saw, listen, one second. Let's just show for a second. Do I have this in MP4 format? Okay, there's 2 reasons, right? That there's actually a lot of reasons. Where are we up to? Over here. But more than the Dalek going up the stairs, which I think was great, right? I thought that was very good. Where is it? Doctor Who. I am looking forward to the season finale of Silo. Man, that is a good show. That is a good show. Where is it? Hang on. Yeah, Doctor Who. It's coming. She's cried. Really? 7th Doctor? Yeah, because I don't have this on 8. They haven't put it out on HD yet. Do I have it just as an AVI? Oh, no. Here we go. So, again, 2 reasons why we love it. Okay, another. The pre-title sequence was fantastic. Here we go. Oh, firstly, check out Sylvester McCoy's performance here. It is superb.
No evidence of tissue damage. Massive internal displacement. What?
Freaking awesome, right? Freaking awesome. It's just really worked very well. So right when this was being filmed, I was working at that summer at the Olympia. They had this massive opera thing called Aida, and one of these extras was also an extra in Aida, and we were talking about Doctor Who. Here, I love the way they can't stand to attention and order. Oh, here we go. This was a game changer. It was so good on transmission. It didn't have the Dalek blast, and we still loved it. Right? See that skeleton? Nobody's seen that before. If I can. Literally, you just gave an entire generation of Doctor Who fans an erection. We freaking love that. Oh, hang on. That one there. Right, just went to it. So yeah, that's one reason. It also had Mr. Bronson in, but this cliffhanger. And I kind of like the slow materialization of the Doctor. Again, one of the all-time best cliffhangers, right? We'd never seen a Dalek go upstairs before like this. They did it in Planet of the Daleks, but not very well. Hey, you are the Doctor. You are the No, they didn't have the bolt. They had the blaster noise, but you didn't see the Dalek bolt. Again, one of the all-time greatest cliffhangers, right there, right? And also you had the little girl. You were a fool. You were born to serve the Daleks, right? It just everything about this. It was, this is what Big Finish isn't now, right? You got Ben Aronovich's like out control enthusiasm, right? It just exuded out, and Andrew Cartmel and Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Order and like everybody was just excited to be making good TV. I wish I could get Michael Gray to sit down and watch this, especially right like at the time, because I think he would have really put this at a much more central. He would have given a bigger budget. He'd be like, my God, this is excellent. I really do think it's just good drama. As one time. So joining Remembrance in the final round would be the last two regular ventures, Curse of Fenric and Survivor. Now I've always said Survival. You put in modern effects, modern titles, modern music, right? Widescreen it and you do it as a movie length thing. You have something that would get 7 million viewers, right, on BBC Today. Probably closer to 9, right? Also, Hell and Pace in it. And Curse of Fenric, right? Curse of Fenric was so original, right? It was so on point for the Seventh Doctor, right? And it really defined the new adventures that followed it. Both of which aired in 89. Again, these two stories have consistently ranked very highly, indicating that fans tend to feel the Seventh Doctor era ended on a high. It did! Those last two seasons were awesome. Indeed, all 4 stories of McCoy's final season, Ghostlight and coming forth in Battlefield 6. That's fair, I guess. By contrast, it's clear the first series is regarded as the weakest, with all 4 87 stories, Time the Rani, Paradise Tales, Delta and the Bannerman, and Dragonfire taking up the spots in the lower half of the chart. Again, the only one I find watchable is Dragonfire, which is actually, you got some solid performances in that. You got Tony Selby's Glitz, which really, really works. And you got, what's his name? Kane, I think is excellent. You had, what's the name from Rocky Horror Show in it? Patricia Quinn. And they were all giving, like, great. Oh, the guy from Porridge. You lucky people. You all chose me Cave's Mercenaries. That one. Oh, everybody gave these great performances in these shitty little sets. They'll say that, like, and of course, the cliffhanger of episode 1. Please, somebody with CGI, fix that. You can fix it so easily. That said, though, Paradise Tales and Dragonfire have climbed place this time around, gaining new peak positions, probably to do with the Blu-ray release, I would have thought. This leaves the 25th anniversary story, Silver Nemesis, in 9th position, lowest placing in earning service. Again, I think that's a reflection of season 25 not being released. It's the weakest story of the season. There's a lot wrong with it, but man, the cyber ships are great. The Cybermen were great in it, right? I love. You had Ace with a slingshot and gold coins. I mean, a lot of stuff was good in it. Lady Painful was shit, right? But what can you do? As we saw the 5th and 6th Doctors last season, the 7th Doctor's relatively brief run on television means there isn't a much potential for chart movement as with the predecessors. Well, I guess that's fair. It seems that McCoy's debut story is always destined to be remembered as his weakest time in the run, because it was. There's a reason for that. Although, again, I always wanted to go to Neil Cole's sci-fi museum, because I saw him do a thing about restoring the Tetrap mask, which was fascinating. Again, those masks were good. It's just it was shit, right? Even though Sylvester McCoy's Doctor marked the end, the original was the end in 1889. After 26 years, the show didn't go out with certainly didn't go out with a whimper, as you would expect. All 3 finalists has been strong contenders in the final round. Yeah. At this point, we should also mention the 8th Doctor Soul Adventure ultimately gets past in the final, well, obviously. Although the 96 movie is still quite divisive amongst fans. I haven't met a fan who doesn't like it. I think it's good. I think most people like it, right? I think there's much more good than there was bad. I always like the dress for the occasion. I even like that bit, right? I like that. I like that movie. Gets the occasion. Though pretty much agrees that they gave us a wonderful doctor in the shape of Paul McGann. On that basis alone, you can't rule it out as a potential dark horse in the grand finale. I expect it to be all of Jodie Whittaker stuff. Again, this is when Doctor Who was cool again, right? Ace with the baseball bat and the Daleks, the redesigned Daleks with the new trim and the shuttlecraft. This was Doctor Who being cool again, and we all knew it straight away. And you know what? You know how I knew it? It was because the next year, like, again, I was in my later teens at the time. And, kids, I would say don't do drugs. And I haven't done drugs for quite some time. Don't do drugs. But we were all doing drugs at the time. And we all stopped to watch we didn't stop doing the drugs. We all stopped what we're doing to watch Doctor Who, which was good with the drugs, if I may say so. So, I think, honestly, I think probably the Brigadier and the Destroyer drooling put Battlefield. So, let me show you a quick bit. That's the other thing that made us go nuts, right? Again, it was the going the extra mile, that attention to detail. Let me get the Destroyer when he gets free. Don't have to do the special edition. Yeah, you need to do a new title sequence. And again, they did a lot with a little amount of money. This really worked well with dealing with the nostalgia without and being able to move forward. If they had Mike Tucker working on it, would have been better. Oh, is this it where he breaks free? Yeah, there you go. I think he got free just before then. Hang on.
Breaks such an enchantment.
But I can.
I feel so bad. Why hadn't you...
It must be. I was wrong. Where is it? Where is it? Where he's drooling? They had the water come down his teeth. There it is.
Margain! If they're dead.
Oh, he was a great doctor. I know a lot of people. I think he was a great doctor. I must have missed it.
Decisions.
Hang on. Is it over here? He's still alive over there. Is that it? Oh, he's still chained up. Hang on. I mean, again, this was great Brigadier.
Pitiful. Can this world do no better than you as a champion?
Probably.
Oh, hang on, he's already free by then. Where did he get free? Okay, chains are off. Chains are off over here. Chains are on there.
Hunger.
Oh, no. He just got free. Oh, there it is! There it is! Hang on. Let me go back a little.
No.
That's it! Yes!
Doctor.
We all wet ourselves when we saw that. Okay? We were all like, whoa! Again, it was that attention. It was a love for the program they were making, and you could feel it, right? You could feel it. And I think that's what really made the show great, right? Even though it was somewhat under it wasn't loved by the BBC. Conversely, just look at let's move to Star Trek, because we have a lot of Star Trek stuff to look at, right? We do have a lot of Star Trek stuff to talk about. Where is this? We'll start with a review of the second episode of Strange New Worlds, which I'll cut to the chase, is shit, right? It is a shit episode, and it's a shit episode because it's written by dumb people who don't understand Star Trek and are only interested in their own world. Also, it's written by somebody who predominantly does female drama, and you can tell, right? It is, it's annoyingly dumb, right? It annoys me that it was this dumb. So anyway, this week on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, we go whoosh! And, you know, these things aren't working anymore, right? Because I liked the characters last year, right? I liked the stories last year. They felt exciting. These are boring retreads. But, I mean, when the stories were exciting, I also loved the visuals. Like, I love the original series aesthetic reimagined, in a contemporary way. And I think it really worked. Now, this is the fumes it's working on. Whoosh! And again, don't do drugs, kids. But if you do, it's a good way to start an episode of Star Trek. And look, it looks beautiful, right? It does look beautiful. So fine. So we start with a flashback. I fucking hate this. It's such a lack of understanding of the Federation, right? What's something that made self-criticism possible in the Next Generation and the original series was that you felt that Gene Roddenberry and Rick Berman, while they may question things about the, they may question scandals or whatever within America, within their own realm, they fundamentally believed in America. They fundamentally believed in American values, right? This is a fundamental hatred of America, saying America has always been bad. I'd say Western world instead of America. So, like, you know, Star Trek, the Federation was really built on being egalitarian, right? That was so central to the original series. Having a black woman, an Asian man, a Russian. I mean, a Russian. They were at war with Russia at the fucking time, right? And like a Russian on the British air, Mr. Spot. Like, it was so diverse. It was so cutting edge, and they all worked together in peace and harmony, right? And they were better for it, right? They want to tear that down. So they found a new way of like shoehorning in bigotry, because that's the only fucking lens they can ever see anything through. Because they only look they're just dumb, right? They're just dumb people. So this is a flashback to Una when she's young, and she's got an injury, and she can't go to the doctor because she's an augment, but we're going to find out why later. And like, just keep quiet, darling. I'll find out. And it starts to glow, right? And she's remembering back. And again, we get the sexual politics coming in pretty darn quick. Una, she used to be called Number One, but Una she's been arrested for being from a planet where they're all augmented so they can live. And they're offering her a plea deal. So listen, we'll drop all the charges, just take a dishonorable discharge and head off on your life, right? And this was the chick, that stunning and brave woman, number 78,000 that Pike was banging, right? Meanwhile, her defense counsel, unfortunately, is weak man. Hello, I'm not strong woman, I'm weak man. He said, you should really take it. She's like, oh, you're just weak man. She said, oh, you really should take it. Meanwhile, Pike is being stunning and brave, and he went to the planet of where she's from, and they can't breathe because he's got a breather thing. Why don't you wear a spacesuit, you moron? Okay, it's fine. He's like, so he goes there every day to meet with the lawyer. And she's there. And again, every fucking person in this episode is a woman, right? A receptionist, he's here again. He won't leave. He's like, I'm not leaving because I'm stunning and brave. So fine, you can go and see it. And now we get to see the true star of the episode, the stunning and brave, wise, clever lawyer who's a black woman, because the writers in the writers' room think that black people and women are inferior. They really genuinely believe it. That's why they overcompensate by making every positive character a black woman, right? So, hello, I'm a superior black woman. Yes, you are. So you can breathe in here now. We want you to help Una. She says, no, she's a cunt, essentially. Not going to help her. because I don't like her. He's like, oh, it could work out well for you. And he talks us around with his traditional Pike charm. And again, I like this so much better when they were like going to Strange New Worlds. I mean, like they did that last year and it was kind of fun. No, 20th century politics says, your other cases aren't going well. If you get this big case like this and it goes well for you, that could help all your other cases. Oh, you are a stunning and brave black woman, but you speak well, little white man. And so again, I like the modern execution of original series aesthetics. This is, you remember those little the bits of plastic they put in and the computer would go, computer, running, computing. This is the modern version of it. And again, I like that it touches base with it. And so she turns up and says, hi, I'm your stunning and brave defense counsel. But what are you doing here? I thought you didn't like me. Well, are you ready to fight? Yes, we will fight because I'm stunning and brave. I'm a black woman and stunning and brave. Oh, brave, so stunning. Meanwhile, the Enterprise is floating around. Pike's making dinner. I said, I used to I banged you and it was, we had a good time, but you're a bad person now. I said, oh, but I have to do it for Starfleet. Starfleet rules. She's an augment. Oh, and when now we're all racist. We found a way to say Starfleet is racist in the past as well. Oh. So back at San Francisco. By the way, just to counterbalance, right? When were the Bell riots? Hang on, let me look up. Star Trek Deep Space Nine Bell riots. It's around now, isn't it? Memory. Yeah, 1 second. Started September 1st, 2024. This is next year. Okay. Okay. How does the San Francisco descend in the Bell riots, which which precipitated the eugenics war, I think. Hang on. This is San Francisco in 2023, right? No fucking wonder those Bell riots are about to start because we live in weird, creepy times, mate. Weird, creepy times. So Golden Gate Bridge, whoosh. And he said, hi, I'm a stunning and brave woman. Of course I'm... You're overcompensating, right? You're overcompensating. You obviously think women are incapable of doing anything. That's why you're inserting them everywhere. You're overcompensating. And now we have Mean Vulcan, right? Mean Vulcan says, oh, now we're going to charge you with sedition and all these things where you'll get like 20 years in Federation penal colony just for being you, just for being open and who you are. I said, oh, and she's like, oh, well, I told you at the fight. Anyway, then we have the titles. Don't give a shit anymore. I like the aesthetic. It's not enough. It's not bloody enough. Whoosh. Can we have some stories as well? Strange New Worlds. Really, we haven't been to any yet. We're 20% through the season, right? We're 20% through the bloody season, and we haven't been to a Strange New World. I don't know. Maybe you want to start focusing on that. So it's like, oh, no, they're going to put me in prison. Yeah, but you're going to have to fight. It's okay. I'm stunning brave black woman. There's no way I can lose. It's as a show in 2023. I'm a lawyer, and I'm a woman, and I'm black. There's no way. There's no way we can lose. But you're going to have to fight. Okay, meanwhile, she goes to her quarters to set up there. And we have other shit characters. And listen, she was cheatering on being shit last year. She's become super shit this year. Noonien Singh. What's her name again? I can't fucking remember. But like, she's got too many backstories going on, and she's not that good. And she's a stunning and brave woman. And she's like, would it help you if they got the information that she was augmented illegally? So yes, that probably would help. So Pike goes to talk, says, oh, you got to get the plea deal. And he's like, oh, no, sad Pike. So again, shit character number one. This is the shittest character in Star Trek, right? And you know, they do this with, she's not a nurse. She's more like Dr. Chapel. But like, they give her a very masculine sexuality. Like, oh, I like banging the blokes, right? Good character next to him, though. I do like the Doctor. Dr. Mabenga, right? And again, I fucking hate how they're dealing with Spock this year. Spock is Sheldon, right? And they're having this conversation. And he's like, and M'Benga's saying, they're actually having quite a big fight right there. He's a great, I really do. More of him. He's really good, right? He's really interesting. She is really boring, right? And again, really boring character I've seen a billion fucking times before. I haven't seen a character like M'Benga before. I'll tell you why. Because normally when they have black men on TV nowadays, it's they're all massive, massive pussies, right? That's essentially, yeah, they're all massive, massive pussies. They're all like, or they're silently struggling through waiterdom, right? Again, I can't stand this character. And he's like, I apologize for seeing that outburst. And again, he's just an autistic comedy character. So she, again, another good character, right? They're like tiny bits of sand. I don't see his shit. So what's her name? Christina Chong tells Uhura, I want you to look for something in Era's personal log. And she's like, yeah, that's illegal, bitch. I am doing that. Again, well played, well written. I like that character too, right? It's so few and far between. Basically, we don't get to see them again this week. She's like, no, you must. He's like, no, I won't. So the tribunal starts. Is that a Tellurian? Because that's just dumb, right? Why would a Tellurian be? That is just dumb. And we have other Vulcan, but he's a black man, so it's okay, right? He might not be awful. We see Jess Bush. Like, I don't think she speaks this week, but she's a good character, except the writer is being very sexually free, right? In other words, what we used to call a slut. Why not have somebody who treasures sex? But no, because that's the anti-Western world, anti-Judeo-Christian values that they're really interested in this show. Fine, so God, I hate her. So they read the charge. Said, yeah, look, she lied about being augmented, and she's augmented. Yeah, it's not so good. So and we had Cunt Vulcan and Stunning and Brave Woman. Said, hi, I'm Stunning and Brave Woman. I like the costumes as well, right? And she, we start, and it doesn't seem to be going well at first, right? And they're all watching it, and like, yeah, look, I'm watching a TV show, or people watching a fucking TV show. No, how about they go to an alien planet with a rock, right? So they call on Admiral April, and this is in a different universe, obviously, to original series, right? Did Admiral April get hit with a black ray? Right now, and I like the guy playing him. Right, I think he's an interest. I like him. Right, but again, it is in its own universe. Right, and he's saying, look, you've you recommended number one. You recommended Una. She was part of your crew. And he said, yes, she did great stuff. He said, now, would you have recommended her if you knew she was an augment? He's like, yeah, I guess not. That looks like a Tellarite. Why is a Tellarite on the Starfleet Judicial Council? I don't know. And again, why is this Vulcan always smirking? Although he looks like, what's the name? What's the name of the guy who's in charge of Homeland Security, who's like overseeing an invasion of the southern border, and whenever he gets called to Congress has exactly this expression? Yeah, him. Fine. And so then they call Spock, and they bring him in for a comedy thing. Said, oh, you're punishing Starfleet. Oh no, Spock was just what they call him in later. So fine, it's bad. So now she says, but wait a minute, do you always follow Starfleet rules? I mean, you've broken the Prime Directive all these times. And again, I don't think Kirk broke the Prime Directive in the same way as we see it now, right? That all changed with Star Trek Into Darkness when they broke the Prime Directive in the pre-title sequence, and then it became commonplace. In fact, here, times Kirk broke Prime Directive. In fact, there was a very good book called Prime Directive about Kirk actually breaking the Prime Directive. When Enterprise is destroyed in the simulation, Kirk violates the Prime Directive by destroying the computers running the world rather than sacrificing his crew to the killing machines. Again, I'm not. Yeah, that was what episode was that? I believe there was context where you would say that wasn't the Prime Directive, right? However, he has condemned the planet to continue its war with horrific destruction and bloodshed accompanies it. So yeah, I don't think that was destroying the planet. And also, that was a technologically advanced civilization. We're talking about pre-warp civilization. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a pre-warp civilization. It was technologically advanced, right? What was it? Yeah. And there was the one way with the Red Indian when he was an Indian, right? But he was brain-addled by a big monolith, right? So I don't think it was. I mean, here, what is it? Prime Direct Star Trek Prime Directive book. Where is it? And it was a great book. It is a really good book. There you go. Yeah, 1 second. Who wrote? Judith and Garfield Reese Stevens. So they co-wrote a bunch of stuff with William Shatner as well. Hang on. There we go. Let me get the image of the book. So what year did this come out in? It was Prime Directive novel. Hang on. It came out in 1990, right? That shows you how different the world of Star Trek was then. Here, so share that screen. Doink. Yeah, this book. It's excellent, right? Basically, it's a segue between the Star Trek TV show and the Star Trek motion picture. Right, because the nacelle gets blown off of the edge, and it turns out he didn't break the Prime Directive in this. Right, it's a great novel. Strong recommend. Right, that is a strong recommend. And he said, but you broke the Prime Directive all these times. You don't follow the rules, and they're like, don't say that, not allowed. So they're like, oh, again, we're watching a TV show, or people watching a fucking TV show. So he was like, well, that didn't go great. It could have gone worse, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, what are you doing? They just antagonize them. Said, oh, we're going to have to fight. I'm standing there. Look, don't you see? I'm a black woman. This is 2023. There's no way I can lose. So it's okay. Back to, like, this was a Discovery set they were using. Like, why would you connect this? Anyway, so they call up character witnesses. You have M'Benga, you have Spock. And again, I like his hand on the thing. Spock tells a joke, and it's just dumb. Says how great Una is, and that she saved them from the Gorn, and they're punishing Starfleet by getting rid of her. And he's shit. Okay, this guy is shit as Spock this year. Can't stand any of these people. And she's like, I think it was me that they found out, right? I think it was me that they found out. It was from my personal log. I was mad. Right? Could they have got that? It says, well, we will look into it, right? So anyway, the trial goes on, and they put Una on the stand, and she said, well, yeah, and then they go, oh, you suffered when you were young, didn't you? You suffered oppression. You suffered oppression in Starfleet. No, you fucking didn't in the Federation. You suffered oppression. Tell me about your oppression, because it's all about filth. This is just written by a woman. This is written by and for women. I am sorry, but that's the truth. This is written by and for women. Star Trek Picard Season 3 was written for Star Trek fans, predominantly men. I'm sorry. And that's why that worked, and this fucking doesn't. So tell me about your oppression. Oh, the oppression. Oh, I broke my leg and it was glowing. I couldn't tell anyone. And we had to hide, right? When they found out we were augments. We hid. Some didn't. And the ones that didn't got persecuted for being augments. Oh, we just wanted to be ourselves. We just wanted to be who we were. And we were oppressed. Well, that changes everything. That changes everything. You know how much that changes everything. Take that 5-year-old to watch that old man twerk in his face. That here, you know, I'm going to show you how much that changes everything. Yeah, let me show you how much that changes everything. You know, you would think. There we are. What we're looking at. Doink. You would think this is wrong, right? You would think this is wrong. Like naked people in the middle of the street in front of children. You would think that's wrong. But no! In the 80s, gay people faced oppression. So this is okay now. This is normal. Because our oppression, fuck all law at that point. God doesn't, yay! Wait! Look at us, proud, no oppression. We have faced oppression. So we can fucking do anything now. Women's sports, we can fuck it over because oppression. Oppression's the only thing that matters. Law, fuck that. Common people know. Oppression. Oh, oppression. That's the worstest thing ever. No. These people, including the people in the crowd, should be on a sex offender registry. Fine, but doesn't matter. Because the idiot little brains can't think beyond it. Tell me of your oppression. It was so hard. Sometimes I cried, right? So we came to the Starfleet because we thought we could escape oppression that way. Oh, I said, oh, tell me more. Look at me. I'm a stunning, brave black woman. That's interesting. Fine. And he's like, fuck this cunt, Mr. Non-Vulcan. I'm gonna take him on. Did you do this or that? Oh, you clear. Well, yeah. When did Captain Pike know about your augment status? Because I think we got to look into everybody now, right? Because you are not going down easily. We got to fuck over everyone. Now, again, this is the Biden DOJ. In all fairness, right? This is totally the Biden DOJ. But I don't think the little brains think of it. And he's like, oh, cool. He's being a bad man, and I'm a stunning woman. What shall I do? So he says, oh man, someone's calling. I got some junk call from it looks like from America. Anyway, stunning oppression. And yeah, he found out about it a while ago, about 3 months earlier. Oh, that's very bad. He was harboring a fugitive. Everything's out of control on the Enterprise. Oh, but wait a minute. I am a stunning and brave black woman, and let me be stunning and brave and a black woman. Let's look at Starfleet law. Does Starfleet law allow for one to ask for not amnesty? What they say all the illegal aliens coming over are doing? They're all fleeing oppression. They're looking for what's it called again? Fleeing oppression, asking for asylum, right? Yeah. We have a law that if someone's fleeing oppression, they can ask for asylum, but you have three things you need to do to afford it. You've got to face oppression, number one. Rule number two, you have to reveal that you are. Oh, she said, so why did you reveal yourself? Because I just wanted to be me. I wanted everybody to know me for who I am. I wanted to be my true self, right? My true self. Which again, what does that mean, right? What does it mean? What are they actually saying? They want you to be your true self, right? Did I get rid of the clip? No. Oh, that's so dumb of me. Right? No, I totally deleted that. Oh, yeah, no. This is what being your true self means. Okay, if this is being your true self, don't be your true fucking self, right? Or at least do it in closed fucking doors and keep my fucking kids away from you, right? Weirdo cunts. Anyway, I just want to be my true. That's why I informed Starfleet of my so this story is actually a gay metaphor. Everything's a gay metaphor. It's June 2023. Fine. So she was oppressed for just being herself, right? She asked for came to the Federation for Asylum, and she has asked for it. She's fulfilled all the everything she needs to be granted asylum. And I shit you not, this is exactly what this legal argument reminded me of. 1 second.
Water. No. Build a bridge out of her. Ah, but can you not? Because they're made of wood.
Back.
And what do you burn apart from witches? More witches! Wood! So, why do witches burn?
This is... I don't bother watching the episode. This is much more accurate to what this was like. Except, of course, they're all women.
Because they're made of wood. Good. So, how do we tell whether she is made of wood? Build a bridge out of her. Ah, but can you not also make bridges out of stone?
Oh,
yeah. Does a wood sink in water? No, it floats. It floats. Throw her into the pond. What also floats in water? Bread. Apples. Very small rocks. Cider. A great gravy. Cherries. Mud. Churches. Lead. A duck. Exactly.
And that was the moment. That's exactly what this was like.
So, logically, if she weighs the same as a duck, she's made of wood. And therefore, a witch! A witch!
Yeah. That's exactly what this was like, right? Exactly what... So, she faced oppression. She asked for help. Oppression and Federation. She's fulfilled all we got to do is grant her asylum now. And we can decide to do that. Like, oh, stunning and brave. Stunning and brave. Oh, I'm so stunning and brave. Did you not notice? I'm a black woman. Stunning and brave. Oh, hi, I'm autistic. I'm a slut. And I'm just a shit character. Again. And like, he's like, again, with the weird eyebrows, all pissed. And she's like, and the female person's like, oh, my sister's done it. She saved my stunning and brave sister by being stunning and brave. And oh, my stunning and brave sister. Stunning and brave, brave and stunning, stunning and brave. Oh, so stunning. So brave, so stunning. And so they give the verdict that, oh, we're okay. So we have... nothing is absolute, so obviously we are going to grant her asylum, so therefore she can be in the rest of the series, and it won't be a problem again until we want to bring it up again. Of course, next year when Donald Trump wins, we will have to like start seeing lots and lots of problems in the Federation. Maybe all the strong, brave. Oh God, the whole hands. And she comes back and hi. You're the bestest ever. No, you're the bestest ever. Oh, they were mad at each other because she hid that she was an augment, right? Yay! Stunning and brave woman! Stunning and brave black woman. I'm sorry, I didn't say the full thing. Everybody clap! Stunning and brave. Again, this is like wish fulfillment, right? That's like they want. Again, look how happy she is. Oh, my brave sister, my stunning and brave sister. You beat the system by using the system. You're so clever. Oh, and it's like, hi, we're friends now. Let's fuck off and do whatever Star Trek-y shit that we're not going to do. And next week they have Captain Kirk, and it was shit, right? This was not as bad as the worst episode of Discovery, because Discovery is absolutely awful. Yeah, they all forget that. Julian Bishop's father was sent to prison for augmenting him in the 24th century. And actually, I love the way they dealt with the change of his character after that, Bashir. Like, that bit where he was like, calculating the odds, and he always pretended not to do that, right? I thought that was fantastic. It's just a shame, right? It's just a shame. But you know what? It's over. This bullshit is over. Paramount is going down in flames, right? Let's have a look at a few articles about how Paramount is going down in flames. And oh boy, do they deserve to be going down in flames in a big way. Absolutely. Where is this? It wasn't. Yeah, what's the article? I thought I'd open up in front of me. It was a Gizmodo article. Hang on. Now I've got to go to history. Gizmodo. Oh, there we go. Here we go. And I say I really recommend a video by Robert Meyer Burnett where he really dives down this. He says essentially they're not making Star Trek. They've been desperate to make Star Wars. Star Wars was Star Trek was the most popular. He was saying in mid-90s. I agree with him because it was always Star Trek, right? I like the JJ movie, the first JJ movie. I thought that was very entertaining, and I thought that could have been a springboard to make Star Trek from. But they just failed. They absolutely failed. So Paramount Star Trek struggle is a shit show of its own making. Yes, it is. My goal is there should be a Star Trek something on all the time on All Access. So easy to do, right? So easy to do. You could do, and again, by making actual Star Trek, I would green light Star Trek New Voyages, get Vic Montano, do the entire very do the very traditional bridge. Again, like the fan-made stuff, right? Put all the fan-made stuff on the platform, and I would have that. You could do 20 episodes of that a year for the price of 2 episodes of Discovery, easily. I mean, like, it's ridiculous how cheap you could do that, right? And it would work. People would like it. You know why? Because you would concentrate on good stories, and they'll think it was funky and different. Do you not remember Power Rangers? I first looked at Power Rangers and went, why is anybody going to watch this? And everybody watched it because it was something different. It was new. It was interesting. It wasn't the same bland pap that we see over and over again. It will be Star Trek. It was about relationships, about traveling to strange new worlds, right? You could do that. Star Trek Legacy, 10 episodes of that. You could do Axanar. You could have Star Trek running all year, right? Easily 3 seasons, 3 series a year. CBS Studios President David Staff told Deadline in 2018 when the return of Captain Jean-Luc Picard for the new Star Trek series was a glimmer in their mind's eye, and everything they delivered was shit. 5 years and a name change later, Paramount Plus achieved that for a time, and with its own hubris, promptly destroyed it. Okay. Paramount Plus, nay CBS All Access, didn't have the smoothest of launches out of space dock in the rise, and now in the fall of its quest for the definitive home of Star Trek content. It's so fucking easy to do. I mean, really, why would you do Will Wheaton All Access? Who wants to see that? Make it a streaming platform that people like me could stream, and then have the algorithm put the most popular people to the top. Oh, honestly, wouldn't you want to watch a nerderotic Star Trek show every week? I would, right? And it would be free, you dumb morons, right? Absolutely free. And you have, you could have had all the Star Treks on the platform. There's so much you could do with Star Trek. I mean, my ultimate goal would be, imagine Quentin Tarantino doing a 10-part Star Trek series. I would love that. Right, and I think that's doable. Rather was the question of Star Trek content, but now the streamers' attempts came crashing, messy conclusion with the controversial movie or Star Trek prodigy. They're fucked. Paramount are fucked, right? Who won the streaming wars, right? Is it Sony? Because they didn't start a streaming service, right? They just licensed out their content, and again, they made shit. Didn't matter. They made huge tons of money with shit, but it doesn't matter. And also, the people they employed were the wrong people. Alex Kurtzman was shit, right? He was just shit. Man, wouldn't you love to see the Brian Fuller version of Star Trek Discovery? I bet that would have been sublime and awesome. This time last year, the series' bold vanguard of an attempt to bring a venerable sci-fi franchise to new audiences. Well, why didn't you try and make it Star Trek? That's why Strange New Worlds worked in the first season. They went to Strange New Worlds. The last year, audiences Hadn't attempted in years, and the latest in what was a whole new fleet of Star Trek shows on the platform. In a swift single move, not just a take back of the second season renewal, but a complete erasure of the series from the platform. The studio's stratospheric ascent seems to have come crashing down all around it. Yes, because you betrayed what it was. Right? That's why, because you betrayed what Star Trek was and you shoved it forward your insane feminist fragility agenda. I mean, like that's destroying everything else. I mean, my God, Indiana Jones is tracking to lose 250 million right now. Oh, nim. Oh God, wouldn't that be great? Get that on Disney Plus by August, right? Oh, yeah, I would love to see that crash and burn. Totally, right? Where we have to. Of course, the only reason Paramount's decision is so galling and so enraging to Trek fans. It's not. It wasn't very good. Actually, Prodigy was probably one of the better things they did. Is that I haven't spent the last 5 years just awkwardly gluing the so-called home of Star Trek together in a series of reacquisitions. Classic Star Trek used to stream across the world on various platforms, including Netflix at its apex, before piece by piece Paramount grabbed each title back and locked it down to its own service. I think we still have Star Trek on Netflix in Israel, right? We still have a lot of Star Trek on Netflix in Israel. Well, we don't have Paramount Plus, so, you know. Yeah, that's probably why, right? But again, they should have launched with that. And you know, I see Doctor Who going the same way. And again, the fundamental problem, which they're not talking about here, is it wasn't Star Trek. It wasn't the essence of Star Trek. It was a completely void of Star Trek. Now even now Paramount Plus is available in less than 30 countries worldwide. As Star Trek as a franchise began to re-expand again with the launch of Discovery, which was shit. Right, they put so much money into it, and it was so bad. And I liked Harry Mudd. I did. I liked what's his name, Ryan Wilson's Harry Mudd. I thought that was an exciting choice. And if you want to bring kids in, why not just make Star Trek? I mean, again, I bet kids will be more interested in Star Trek New Voyages because it's just weird and funky and something they haven't seen before. Right? I think they'll be more interested in that than Prodigy. I really, genuinely do. Where we go, Star Trek Discovery and other new series. Studios reached beyond America and saw the likes of Picard and Lower Decks go to other streaming platforms abroad for season 2. Yeah, because Netflix didn't want it because Star Trek Discovery was an absolute disaster. Picard nobody liked. Picard was shit. Season 1 and season 2 was absolute shit. Same with Lower Decks. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. And you know why? Again, look at the expression on Mariner's face there, right? That smug, entitled, nasty look on her face. That's who she is as a character, as a person. Why would I be happy about seeing her in Star Trek Strange New Worlds? So fine. So even the launch of Strange New Worlds saw this, as an international fans were left waiting months after American audience saw the series, kept locked to the aforementioned rollout. Yeah. But why couldn't it find a streaming platform? Right? Why? Because it failed. Because Star Trek Discovery was reviled. Because Star Trek Picard was reviled. That's why they couldn't find a streaming platform. Because they completely devalued the brand of Star Trek. Right? And again, it's not rocket fucking science, is it? Where we are, we're up to go to other streaming platforms abroad for season 2, only be wrenched back when Paramount Plus slowly made its way across the world. Even the launch of Strange New Worlds saw this. Oh yeah, fine, we said that. The first familiar foul up with parallels to Prodigy situation Paramount finds itself in this week came just a few years ago. Days after Star Trek Discovery's full season. Again, season 1, part 2 was awful. Season 2, season 3 were awful. Paramount announced the abrupt removal of the show from Netflix internationally, and it's entirely leaving fans expecting to watch the new season that same week in the dark whenever Paramount Plus hit their region. Yeah, and again, why did it leave Netflix? because Netflix hated it. Netflix was I think they paid for season 1, and they got shit that nobody wanted, and they paid a lot less for season 2, and I think they'll locked in for those 3 seasons, right? And they got it off the platform as soon as they bloody could, because they weren't interested in it, and that's why it got so much cheaper over the years. And there's no real way to take back what Paramount has done anytime soon. Yeah, it was managed awfully. But this is really the end of Paramount's attempt to make itself the only place of Star Trek streaming. The signs have been on the wall for the streamer. House was built on shoddy ground. From random episode removals to encroaching contradiction on the franchise, Star Trek Discovery is set to end next year for good, thank God. Picard is seemingly over to now, just leaving Strange New Worlds on lower date. Now, Picard Season 3 was a triumph, right? And they're talking about doing another Picard movie, right? A Next Generation movie. No, fuck off. Leave it. It was done. It's over, right? Star Trek 6 was the perfect end for the original series crew. Star Trek Picard, the final season, because I'm not going to call it Season 3, because I'm not going to launch Season 1 or 2, was the perfect end, right? Leave it. Go forward now, right? It's been clear for a while that Paramount's grasp of the franchise, it did so much to hold as it's been loosening it in its worst ways in recent years. It's just the fateful blow that comes amid a spate of industry reckoning. So the one rumor going around is Netflix is looking to buy Paramount Plus. But is Netflix any better? Are they have they got rid of all their woke morons? I don't know. But again, man, I wish I could just scream at them. Star Trek, was it Star? What they called again? Star Trek Continues, right? That's what they call the Vic Montagna one. Just put that on. Do a season of that. Do a season of an Axanar, or do an Axanar, right? Do you could do random shit. Riker could headline a show. There's a lot you could do, or you could just make Star Trek, right? How about that? Something that was like Star Trek. It's been clear for a while that Paramount's going blah blah blah. As the service that rose up amongst Paramount Plus slowly lost their grip on the content they chased the gobble up over the last half decade, it doesn't quite sting so much when it's not so much an own goal as it is with a series as big as Star Trek is now. In part thanks to the streaming agents said no. It's entirely to do with them disconnecting from the viewer, right? It's entirely about that, right? It's entirely from disconnecting. We don't want that audience. Again, Kathleen Kennedy said, oh, why would we do the Star Trek theme park and Star Wars theme park and Star Wars hotel based around the original trilogy? Because it's just old people in the 50s. We want the young new people who's going to like Rey and everything. The problem is you made shit that nobody fucking wanted. And now you're hurting. And I'm glad. Here, 1 second. See if we can find an article about Netflix buying Paramount. Buying Paramount. Yeah, once seeking alpha. Paramount Games on report Netflix explored acquisition at some point. That's it. So yeah, but they're fucked, mate. Paramount Plus is trying to call itself the home of Star Trek for a good while further, but after that, it will never truly be. In fact, it never was, right? It never was, right, dude. You need to get your head out the arse. The fundamental problem is the fundamental problem with everything else in genre. It's not genre. It's about shoehorning agenda down people's throats. So let's talk about Barbie movie. Yeah, thanks for the warning about the Barbie movie. I don't have to watch it now. Mattel's Barbie movie, latest attempt to normalize gender ideology and body mutilation by casting man pretending to be a woman as Dr. Barbie. We'll give that one a miss then. Titan Comics are reimagining Lovecraft. Well, that's going to go well. I love that The Flash is going to be on streaming in a couple of weeks. So this I'm happy about. Rachel Brosnahan, I think, is perfect casting for Lois Lane. I mean, absolutely. If you may, I recommend on Amazon Prime, which is a shit streaming service. Oh God, so badly managed, so badly. It's just bad in every way. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisels. It's a good show, right? It's amazingly a very good show, which she stars in it. She is very hot in it. She's got a great energy going through it. I think she will be absolutely perfect as Lois Lane. And look, honestly, I think he looks fine as Superman. I get it. We all like Henry Cavill. It's over, right? They want to move on and do something different, right? This is very good casting, right? This is very, very, very good casting. So will it ever get made? I don't know. I get the feeling that the Flash may have literally killed all Hollywood movies, right? I get the feeling. Where'd they go? Come back. There you go. Doink. So that's actually a bit good news. Magic the Gathering, don't play, don't care. Kathleen Guinness says new films will move past George Lucas's original vision. Will introduce new characters with something fresh. How did that work out for you last time, darling? How did that work out for you last? I don't think very well, right? I do not think very well. Newest Barbie actors report film described as feminist, but Mattel executive adamant Barbie is not a feminist movie. Okay, because the Mattel executives now are executives, and they've smelled the death of Bud Light and the implosion of Target, right? For that bollocks, right? Marvel reveals first synopsis of Loki season 2. Do I really give a shit? Pretty sure I don't give a shit. Let's have a quick look. Comic shop owner admits new Marvel and DC titles aren't moving. Fine, that's a loud and proud family. Are you out your fucking mind? So let's see what the synopsis is. Tom Hiddleston and a talentless cunt take a shit over more of the Marvel universe. Where is it? Where is it? Scooper Jeff Seifert said the rumor is that on the street that Deadpool 3 is just Deadpool is sort of taking on the Time Variance Authority. So as a result, Deadpool 3, I hear Owen Wilson's Agent Morbius and Tara Strong's Miss Minutes will be in. I don't care. Again, it worked in Phase 1 when we liked these people. When asked if Loki will be in the film, Snyder responded, don't know if Loki is in Deadpool 3, but I heard Owen Wilson and Tara Strong is in Deadpool 3. And if you think about it, Owen Wilson and Deadpool 3 director Sean Levy go way back. They did Night in the Museum. Oh, that classic. It will be a shock. Okay, fine. Is this a synopsis? Really? Film Scoop Arizona responded, questioning, would they recast Majors as Kang? No, actually, he did quite well in court the other day. Second season is directed by I don't care. First episode expected on October 6th. If Disney Plus is still around. Don't really care about any of these things. And apparently, the Marvels has a post-credit scene of, they say, hey, kids, did you stay for all of that? No. Right? I mean, honestly, they could put a post-credit scene of whatever her name is, Miss Marvel's gaping arsehole. And nobody would watch, right? Nobody will know it was there. Stunning Brave Woman! Oh, Stunning Brave Woman! Oh, Stunning Brave Woman! The scene is, of course, parallel to episode 4 of WandaVision, where Monica wakes up in a hospital and finds her mum gone. I don't really even remember that, right? Whatever. The description of the second break is the Marvel's last post-credit scene reveals Kamala was actually narrating events in the movie to somebody at the end. The person, Kate Bishop. So they want to go into young event. I don't care. Oh, I can't, ladies and gentlemen. I can't bring myself to give a shit. Let's have a quick look at Bleeding Cool. Grown Barbie Car says there's a very powerful message on gender roles. That very powerful message is me saying goodbye. Fine. And that's Bleeding Forward. Where's Cosmic Book News? What you got going on there in Cosmic Book News? Secret Invasion, a bust. Second worst Marvel rating to Disney. I didn't bother watching the second episode. The first one was turgid, right? Absolutely turgid. Is that Wait a minute. Is that actual CGI from The Flash? Fuck me. Really? No. Is that really? No. That can't be. That can't be. What? Okay, I don't know about him as Superman. He looks like Superman to me. Right? He looks like Superman to me. Fine. Something else I wanted to look at. What was it? Not Bounding in the comics. Oh, it was. It was over here. This is just sweet. Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny box office predictions described as abysmal. Film can lose upwards of 250 million. Yes! Yes! Oh, and because Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Oh, she's so shit, right? I would love that. I would absolutely love that to happen. But they're going to try and find a way of bumping the numbers, I guess, somehow. I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell, ladies and gentlemen. Fine. With that, I'm going to wrap up. 8-Bit Snick Boy is there. How you doing, 8-Bit Snick Boy? Thank you for joining us. What else we've got here? Camgams Crash Cruise. I'm pretty sure I said hello to you, but I'll say hello again. You know, I'm a nice guy. Knots and Crosses. I want to be a woman sketch. So it's so pathetic. It is. Right? It really is. It's, oh, man. Fine. With that, I am wrapping up, ladies and gentlemen. I am out, Steve. I am not on tomorrow, right? I have to go to my niece's bat mitzvah. Not really looking forward to it, but yeah, you have to do what you have to do, baby. You have to do what you have to do. So that's happening tomorrow. Then I guess Friday will be a pre-record. Saturday I'm taking off. Sunday I'm back live. Who knows or dares to dream? What I'm going to be ranting about then, my guess is there's going to be quite a lot, right? There's going to be quite a lot. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. I'm going to hit it again.